Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. I know it's kind of late today. It's 4 o'clock, 4:10 right now, my time. I don't know where you guys are coming from right now, but yeah, it's been a kind of a weird day, weird morning here. It took quite a while to clean all this stuff up. The thing was such a mess yesterday. Those of you guys that were here yesterday, you know what kind of mess I was dealing with, and it took a long time to get the parts clean enough to my satisfaction, so that it could go back in there and not start from already a dirty position in there. Um, just want to thank you guys for joining me. I see we got a few people on there right now. I got about 9 people right now. That's good enough. Don't need to wait too much longer to get going on this thing. We did get some snow here this morning, so I've been out doing shoveling and then having to deal with all this cleaning of parts. So I'll get going. We're gonna kind of pick up where I left off yesterday, which was I'm gonna pull the seal out of here and replace that. I did finally find my puller. It was just in a drawer that it shouldn't have been in. Nobody's fault but my own. Anyway, I'll be taking a look at some of your comments and as I go along, but that's for right now. Get going on this thing. Been a long morning. A long afternoon, I guess, too. Hell, it's almost cocktail hour already. What the hell? Anyway, let's get going. All right, take a puller here, push it down. Hopefully this one will come out pretty quick. There it goes. I was thinking there I was going to have to leave it in there. I can't believe how long it took to get the smell out of the shop. In fact, I might be just used to it by now. I don't know. It was bad, that burnt smell. In fact, I went inside after after working out here yesterday, and the first thing my wife said is, she's like, "Did you have a fire?" Yeah, no, dear, no fires. So I see someone in the comments there named Rich FJR 1300. Rich, I assume you either have or had a 1300. My son has one of those. loves it. Very cool bike. I definitely like that bike. Don't have to work on them quite as much as the LT, it seems, but they're good. They're definitely great bikes. So if you guys are ever wondering what this thing is that I use in these videos, this is actually some kind of a bearing set tool for some 1940s airplane. I don't know. It fits on here, so it works for me. So I really just like to get these things started because they always tend to seem to go in a little bit on an angle. Just get them started in there, and then use a different hammer to kind of guide them in straight. A little bit up there. All right. So I got a little bit of different lighting in here. I use one of my my studio lights. So I know yesterday it was kind of flickering a little bit, so that helps you guys be able to see too. Make sure you put your spacer back on. Jose, you're asking me if it's going to be another 3 hours. I doubt it. I'm starting pretty late today, so I may have to continue on either tomorrow or Thursday. I think I got something going on tomorrow. Not sure. Just keep. If you got your notification set on your on YouTube, then you'll see when I'm going to go live. All right. Well, I'm gonna do. Let's throw a little stub rugs on here. Probably don't need it, but I'm gonna put it on there anyway. Certainly looks a lot more clean than yesterday. These are real nice to, you know, store all your stuff in. I got all the lot of various parts here for working on these things. Got the new nut. Most importantly, the Viton O-ring. If you go to the BMW dealer and you wind up getting parts, they do not sell you a Viton O-ring. You really should get that instead of the NBR one that they sell there. I think the size is online. It's on the Microfiche. I think it's like 17 by 4, and you can get them off of eBay. They're about, you know, $1 something a piece. They're a lot cheaper than the BMW part, but they work a lot better than the BMW part in that they don't get hard in the oil. You know, you saw, I don't know if you guys were here yesterday, you probably saw the one that I had used, or, you know, I pulled out of there yesterday. It was brittle. It just broke. This one's not going to break. It's not going to get hard. It doesn't get attacked by the hydrocarbons as much as that other one does. So anyway, another little tip. I like to just get it started into that little cavity, just to make sure I don't get any kind of a bulge or something of that nature. So the little flat washer that's on there, the little stepped washer, you can reuse those. There's really no reason to buy another one. If you want to buy another one, if you want to spend the money, go ahead, but there's just no sense in it. It doesn't get crushed. It's not like something that wears out or gets damaged. It's kind of like that washer that's in the back of the clutch carrier. It doesn't get damaged or wear out either. So throw that back on there. And throw in a new nut. Nope, wrong way. I gotta go get one of the used bolts. Hang on. I see your question out there about stripping splines. No, these are not prone to stripping splines, not at all. I really think that, you know, like in those R bikes that you need to lubricate the splines on all the time, especially, you know, here in the clutch. Man, what a poor design. Seriously, I really think that BMW does that stuff just to generate income for the dealerships. And it is something that actually needs to be done. It's really a shit design. It's not cool at all that they did that stuff. All right, 140 Newton meters. And then you release it, then we got to stretch it. If you guys don't know, don't use your torque wrench to use it as a breaker bar. You definitely mess things up. Most of you guys know that stuff though, but in case you didn't. Alright, there's full release. And put back on there. Now we put it on there at 50 Newton meters. Then we got to stretch it. My torque wrench is telling me I need batteries. Let's see what's going on here. All right to me. All right, and then we're going to go 60 degrees. And we hit 50 foot-pound or nanometers, Newton meters, nanometers. So what's pretty cool is that some of these torque wrenches, like this one, has it automatically built in, so I can actually hit 60 without putting that device on here anymore. It actually will count up to it. So. There we go. And that's it. I see some of you guys are watching from other countries, France and Germany. What time is it there? It's got to be getting, got to be the middle of the night or something, or maybe it's early morning. I don't know. And how many of you guys were with me yesterday when I took this thing apart and we saw that giant rat's nest of clutch inside here? What a mess. My gosh, what a mess. That stuff's, I think that stuff's actually worse trying to get that out of your clothes and out of your nose than like when you're working with the Hypoid gear oil. It's got that nasty, acrid smell to it that you can't ever seem to get rid of. This stuff's worse. All right, let's start putting my clutch back together. I realize I'm not telling you everything that I'm doing, because I've pointed all this stuff out in my clutch video, my 3-part series that I did not long ago. I think it was in June or July, I can't remember, but that I put that out, where I go through everything, tell you how to, you know, complete the whole job. And that video is a lot shorter than this one because it's edited, and this one is not. This is all live. It's happening right now, as you guys are watching it anyway. For those of you who are watching this on my, you know, it's like a repeat, I don't know, a video. Hello, put your comments down in the comment section below. And I've got all new parts going in this thing. Nice new spring. You don't want to put too much on here, but you do want to have something on there. It'll probably fall out while I'm sitting here, but yeah. All right, I'll have to try to hold that in when I slap everything together. This is my new cover plate. I gotta clean this off. You can see it's got Cosmoline or something on it from shipping. Jeez, look at all those screw marks or drill marks for balancing. Jeez. Let me clean this thing off. Nice and shiny new pressure plate. This guy's gonna feel like he's got a brand new clutch. Peter, it's midnight. What are you doing awake? Aren't you supposed to be in bed by now? Past your bedtime. That one certainly looks nicer than the last one that was in there. I wonder if this guy was trying to do burnouts with this thing. I'm going to ask him. I'll have to ask him through his interpreter, but I will ask him. I really think he was. It had to have been. I did contact him last night and sent him pictures of his clutch. And he said that it did leave him stranded. He got caught somewhere. Probably had to get a tow truck. I would have to say yeah. Yeah, definitely. So when you're putting a brand new clutch together, you just want to make sure that you take a look at where the majority, on this one it's a tremendous majority of holes. They're all pointing up here. And then this one will have some balance bits in it as well. Balance, drill points. You don't want everything sitting all in the same spot. You want to turn it by 120 degrees. So it's up there, so right there is good. Spin it around this way. So now my balance bits are here, and the balance bits are at the top. So that'll work fine. Now I am putting brand new screws in here because BMW says to put new screws in there, and I'm definitely going to be putting in new washers, so the little lock washers. Interesting stuff though. Through a friend of mine, he did some testing. I asked him, what he knew about these screws, because I've always questioned. These are steel screws, and that's an aluminum carrier. Now, what's going to give first? It's going to be the aluminum carrier. So he did some testing on these screws just to see if he repeatedly, torqued them to the proper spec, if they would stretch. And lo and behold, they do not stretch. So, to be honest, there's probably really no reason that you can't reuse the screws, but you definitely want to get new washers for them. But I've got new screws here, so I'm going to put them in there. Spray go. I wouldn't want to get too much fresh air while I'm doing this, so I spray some brake cleaner here. Help my lungs. I see that this is better than a cooking show, so I'm glad for that. Little late night for you, Peter. Little late night wrenching action while you're having your beer. How come you don't send me beer, Peter? You probably got some really good beer over there. If you guys, I guess I haven't even plugged this yet, but today, if you like what you see here, please check out the links below, and that's how you can help support me and what I do here, and help me with the equipment that I need to make these videos for you guys. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do for plugging. Let's get this thing on. Gulf Ranger, yes. This is a K12. It's a K1200 LT. If you guys are interested in this little tool, I do have some of these available, as well as got some prototype little holding bars, clutch holding tools. Just a few of them available, but I do still have some. I think that's 21. Ah. According to my chart, it's 18, so it's... Sometimes it takes forever with these torque wrenches. Let's go through them one more time. Yep, that one I didn't do. All right. Clutch is right in the middle. Looks good. You want to know how many, I see there's a question there about how many miles did this clutch last. It went for, I think, 85,000, at least as far as I know. I don't know the whole history of this clutch. I wasn't, I didn't service this bike before yesterday, so I can't really say for sure. It did have evidence that it had been worked on before. That rear main seal that I just pulled out, that looked like it was a replacement seal. So I just replaced the replacement seal. Anyway, so it could have been the clutch had been replaced once before. And it could be too that the guy doesn't know how to drive it. And I see there's a guy there that is you're waiting to take delivery of your used LT. Big advice for you: keep it under 2,000 RPMs when you're starting off. If you don't know that already, it's a really big deal for these clutches. It's the only way to make these clutches really last. After you let out the clutch all the way, do whatever you want. You can jam on it, you can beat the hell out of it, but just when you're taking off from a stop sign or a stoplight, especially if you're two up, definitely keep the RPMs down, and you will save your clutch. Save yourself a whole world of hurt. 85,000 miles though, that's pretty good. If the clutch blew out just as a matter of riding it for 85,000, that's really good. I'm pretty hard on my clutches, and they tend to last anywhere between 45 and 65,000 maybe. I don't know. I beat the hell out of it though. As it should be, because it's a BMW and you should be able to beat the hell out of this thing. Anyway, let me bring the transmission over, and we got to change out a seal on the front of that thing. I want to change out the seal just to make sure that it's not going to wind up a problem for the guy down the road. It's not leaking, but it needs to be changed. Leave it just like that. So we're going to change out this seal right here. This is your input shaft seal, and yeah, I think it should be changed out. We'll get some tools. There's a new seal I'll put in there. So I've gotten this tool to work a few times, and I'm hoping I can get it to work on this one, because when it does work, it works really good. It's a little tool little seal tool. I think it might be on my Amazon store. I may have put that on there. Anyways, it's got a little hook on there, and you wedge it underneath, in between the seal, and then you use this part as a pry or a pivot, and pop the seal out. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, so who knows. Let's see if it works. I know I've gotten it to work on this seal before. Sorry about the wavy lines in the video. That's what it's going to have to be for a minute. Yeah, it's not coming out of there like that. Well, if it didn't need a new seal, it certainly does by now. So aggravating. Ah. Nothing. Oh my. It's like it was glued in there. Oh my gosh. Well, this was supposed to be easy. You have to excuse me a minute, guys. I gotta move this thing to the floor and deal with it. It is not helping me. If you need to take like a bathroom break or something, then go do it, because it might be a few minutes. Started to move. Almost got it. About halfway out. Ah, finally. All right. Now that sucked. There we go. We got it out of there. I say we, I mean me, because you guys didn't help me at all. What the hell's wrong with you? Start helping me! I see a question up on the comments about that brake fluid funnel. You can find those at beamerboneyard.com. That's it. That's where I've got mine. And yeah, that one I don't have on my Amazon store, and I don't think I could get it on there either. So. I got a little adapter tool here for this. Just tap it in until the bottom's out, and there it is, done. All right. finally. Holy cow, it's 5:30 already. I'll just tell you that this thing never goes right, so it'll be a miracle if it actually just goes right up in there. Usually it hits over here, and I think I'm going to take off this edge right here because of the way it came out of there. It kind of jumped a little bit, and I don't think it's going to go in too well, so I'm going to file down this edge just on a little bit of an angle to help ease it into place. And I got to get my jack stand back in place here. Last thing I'll do before I put this thing up here is I kind of forgot to do it because it's not really 100% necessary, but I'm going to drill a little weep hole right in here. If you guys don't know about the weep hole, then you go onto the LT forum and read about it, and you'll see why you need it. It's basically so that if your slave cylinder starts to leak, if this thing gives up the ghost, it will basically just give you an indication that it's leaking, and you'll be able to get in there and change it out, hopefully before the brake fluid travels down this little shaft here and soils up the clutch, and then you're into a clutch again. So just kind of like a preventative maintenance. One of those things that you hope never happens, but it could. So let me get a drill, a longer drill than this one. This one is too short for this job. Just need a really small hole in there so brake fluid can get out if it needs to. Bogus Mylene says you missed the whole thing. You can rewind it. You should be able to just go backwards and see the whole thing. So don't be afraid. You're not gonna miss much. How many times have I split a K12? How many times have I split one, like taking the transmission out? You know, I don't know. It's certainly not hundreds of times, but I don't even know. Maybe dozens, I suppose. I don't know. Once you do a bunch of them, you kind of get used to it, so. So when you're drilling this weep hole, you just want to make sure you don't get up into where the seal is. Just want to kind of eyeball it. So you want to get in basically right up at the edge. Inside there, you'll see a little edge, and you want to get right up to it. I gotta kind of move this thing off so get this thing better. Just want to get all your chips out of there if you can. Even if you can't, still get them out. There we go. All right. See if I can get this thing to hang up there. No guarantees. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot something. I gotta just put a little bit more Staubron's paste on the splines. I will not forget that. I did put it on the clutch, so even if I accidentally did totally forget it, it wouldn't have been the end of the world, but since I remembered, what I do with it. All right, try again. Hey, all right. It's in there. That was an easier one. I was really hoping for the sake of the video it would be one of the most miserable ones. I've had them. They don't go in at all. I'm sure some of you other guys out there that have dealt with these things know what I'm talking about, man. Sometimes they can be, oh, you could be fighting with this thing for a half an hour. Oh, that's the wrong one. That should hang there. I'm gonna go get some other tools. Where can my tools go? So do remember, guys, when if you're ever doing this job, you got two sizes. You only have one screw on this thing, one bolt that is shorter than the others, and that one goes up there. So make sure you put it in the right spot. I'm going to leave this one off until I get the thing mounted up in there, and that's where the bracket goes for the reverse gear. And I'll put that on then. So the other little tidbit of advice, make sure you feed this wire. This is the reverse indicator. Make sure you feed that up through there prior to lifting the transmission up, and just because it's a real pain in the butt to get if you don't do that. You don't have to hook it up, just make sure it's at least through there. There we go. I'll just hook it up since I'm here. There, now I don't have to worry about it. So that short one goes on the top. That's the one that's right underneath the alternator. this ain't working. All right. I know you guys can't make this out on the camera, but this is where the problem always lies. It's right on this side. Thing always, God, it always is off. What the deal is. Oh, there it goes. Hey, all right. So that's why I filed that little edge on there, just so that it would create like a little bit of a ramp and be able to squirt right up in there. So it did. We're almost home with this thing. I'm just going around now just to make sure that nothing gets pinched. Looks pretty good. Out there. Get our long bolt in there. This one's 70 Newton meters. There it is. All right, put this thing in there. There you go. Don't forget to put that in. Your clutch isn't going to work too good without that pin. It would be bad. I'm glad my knees aren't shot yet, because they probably will be soon. Looking for my tools. But I put the short bolt in the wrong place. How dare you? No, I didn't. It's in the right spot. Oh, for God's sakes, where are my tools? So, Bogus Mylene, I just gotta ask, man, is that your real name? Did your parents name you Bogus? If they did, I'm laughing. I appreciate you being here regardless what your name is. Yeah, and also thanks for that comment about my torque wrench. Yes, it is a very nice torque wrench. It was one of my purchases in 2017. Bought that from the Snap-on guy and paid, all the money for it. I'll tell you what though, aside from like that big nut that's on that thing, where it goes up to 140 newton meters or 150, this thing can handle pretty much every task on the LT without any trouble, including the tires and the big lug nuts and everything like that. What a wonderful tool. Just love this thing. And it's got the angle meter and everything on there if I ever need it for that. I like the fact that it's got some presets in it too, so I can like all the ones that are like 21 and all that stuff, I can preset all of those newton meters or foot pounds or inch pounds or whatever in here, and it works really, really damn good. This one is 9 now. So it gives a little haptic feedback too. I don't know if you can hear it in the video or not, but it vibrates, as well as these lights kind of light up, and as you get closer, they grow, and then as soon as you hit it, it will buzz in your hand and make the beep sound. So really nice. Gives you like 3 different levels of indication that it's doing something. Although there's nothing wrong with a really good click type either. That works really good too, because it gives you both the audible and the feeling as well. So definitely worth it to get some good quality tools. So I'll put this thing up here. Get this thing out of here. So are you guys, I know you guys some of you guys were with me maybe yesterday, taking a look at some of this stuff. Watch the big one, the 6.5 hour or 5 hour video I did yesterday, taking everything up until the transmission out. If you're interested in me, continuing on as I put the bike back together, I can certainly start up the video again the next time I'm on here. Just let me know either in the comment section or in the chat session as well. And make sure if you don't know when I'm going to do this, because hell, I don't even know when I'm going to do this. If it's either going to be tomorrow or Thursday, one of those days, it's going to be that I'll, go back after this and put the rest of it together. If you want to know when that's going to happen, just make sure you click that notification icon. I think then it will probably send you something either on your phone or on your computer, and you'll be able to tune in when next time I make the live stream happen. So I think that's going to do it though for tonight. It's always a good feeling when you get the transmission back in there, and you know it's in there right, so I know it's going to work now. Definitely better than before. The next time I come after this, I will put the center stand back on and start putting the rest of the parts back on. But definitely appreciate all you guys watching, and if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up too. If you want to see more videos like this, you know, like long form videos instead of kind of the edited down versions, just let me know. Let me know down in the comment section below. Again, check out my Patreon page. That really does help me out a lot. Or buy a poster from me or something like that. If you guys don't know what the poster is that I'm referring to, you know, I'll walk you over to it. Just gotta make sure I don't unplug my camera. There we go. Now we're mobile. So this is the poster here I was referring to. Some of you guys already have it. Maybe you want it. That is me, by the way. I was on the tail of the dragon, and they were there and they took those pictures. So that would be my bike. And yeah. Anyway, it's all the quick. It's kind of like a quick guide to all of your torque specs, Newton meters, foot-pounds, and inch-pounds. Covers engine, electrical, all the stuff that you would normally work on. Things like, you know, if there's a torque spec that's on the inside of the engine, or something like inside the transmission, you're going to have to look that up in the manual. But these are all the ones that are normally used when you're working on this. Is just a real quick reference guide. I did put down here all of the, as many as I could figure out, all the gas filter, cross-reference, oil filter, air filter, and some other parts as well, including the O2 sensor that goes out pretty common on these LTs. So you can find that link down in the description below. And also, if you want to get one of my t-shirts, helps me out a little bit. You guys, I know you saw the title on the back anyway. So, guys, thanks so much for watching and tuning in. Always good to hear from you guys, especially in other countries. I love hearing that. It's cool to know that I'm getting a worldwide reach, and yeah, whatever. I'm glad to help out, and send me emails, whatever. If you got questions, I've been dealing with a lot of these LTs, that's for sure. So, guys, thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.